What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and whoa, the Onision versus Repzion case is as crazy as you might imagine. Now, the date to appear in court actually happened yesterday, and there are a lot of updates around that. But also, bizarrely enough, a YouTuber also traveled to the Onion Man's house for an interview and ended up getting violated. I don't really understand what was happening in this video clip, but it ended poorly for just about everyone involved. I do want to start first before getting into the whole schmeal. Huge shout out to Repzion, Daniel, for not being intimidated, standing up to what can only be described as a bully, and winning the day. Doesn't always happen that way. A lot of times people stand up to things. It doesn't end well, but kudos. A lot of people would have just backed off, and that's for sure. And because of that, the internet has done what the internet does and put together, I think Jacqueline Glenn shared this out, saying, Onision dismissed himself, but this was still a massive waste of time. Let's not waste money too. Please help. And this is a GoFundMe, which currently has $18,300 in it. That obviously more than covers the direct costs of hiring legal fees. But if you want to throw something in the pot to say thank you to the work that Daniel's been doing, I'll leave a link to that in the description below this video. Now, yesterday was the day. Pierce County Court. Turns out that the Onion decided that they just were going to drop it. They weren't going to pursue anything whatsoever anymore. They had been seeking an order of protection from both Mr. Hansen and Mr. Sulzbach for making videos about them. This is, of course, laughable. I didn't think that it was going to be granted anyway. But here's the document saying, this is in the Onion's handwriting. After legal review, I have been advised to disregard prior instruction by on-scene officers, instead taking alternative, more effective legal action against both defendants. On-site was, I'm trying to read this, very helpful. However, the proposed solution, action by my legal advisor, is not followed prior advice I was given. This is just whatever. The rumor on the street is, from Daniel himself, that the Onion plans to take him to civil court and sue for damages. Now, he won't win that either. In fact, I'll be here to help Repzion raise more money for legal fees should the Onion want to pursue that. I highly recommend he doesn't. In cases like this, they're very, 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 very difficult to prove and very difficult to assess damages. By the way, if he goes through that during discovery, which I learned was an interesting thing. Basically, everything about the Onion's financial information will be part of discovery. I don't think he wants that. I don't think he wants more of his information out on the internet. I think that would be very, very bad for him in terms of stopping content. Trying to bully a YouTuber out of covering what can only be described as a history, a pattern of terrible behavior, was a bad idea in the first place. You can see just a few days ago, this is the 24th, that his kid fell out of a window. As previously reported here, Gregory Jackson has come under suspicion of having a penchant for underage ladies. Whether it's true or not, one scroll through the guy's YouTube page and all you see that he's a creep on a massive level. Obviously, this is an opinion, although it's basically objectively true at this point. Now, Newsweek uncovered a story that happened back in September where his daughter reportedly fell out of a second-story window. In most cases, this would sound like a tragic accident. Still, there are some pieces that don't add up, like CPS having been called in the past and anonymous tips to a school principal that the kids have been suffering for years. The most disturbing detail about this sad incident was when officers showed up, the Onion was taking pictures of the aftermath of the accident. When they questioned why he would be taking photos, he said it was to show a doctor to prove he didn't do it. Why? Why would you feel like you ever need to prove that? Look, by the way, kids get into trouble. Kids do things. Obviously, he has a reputation. It doesn't look good. More information came about that the kid had to like crawl and pound on the window to get their attention. Why weren't you watching your 2-year-old? However, whether he did it or not, it's pretty evident that the kids need to be removed from that situation, or at the very least, the Onion should be charged with neglect. And I think we'd be better off if this Gary Glitter wannabe. Whoa, that goes pretty far. That goes pretty far. Now, that doesn't change, obviously. You can see here, the Onion also has an open FBI investigation incident from September. They seem to have opened a case of the Onion Jackson, content creator with over 5 million subscribers across 3 channels, as well as husband Kai, had been accused by a former partner of grooming. The pair has 2 children, a 3-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. Newsweek have obtained the CAD, or computer-aided dispatch, call log from Pierce County, where Jackson and his family are currently located. These public records detail 911 dispatches sent to his home, including remarks on the situation and, quote, event March from December 12th, that the department had received numerous calls from around the country and that their detectives were aware. The remark also states that the FBI has opened a case and are reviewing his video content. Obviously, this goes on top of everything, too, that Mr. Hansen is doing. On top of it, the pressure is turning up. The heat is turning up on this dude. And while there are a lot of very, how do we say, anecdotal stories about this or that were really bad, what's going to be interesting is to see if anybody is willing to go like on official record, if he's actually broken any laws. It's difficult to know. But when you have a guy that shows up wearing Kevlar, it's a little bizarre. And looks like they haven't washed their hair in 8 months. I don't know. But this is how he shows up. He's got some sort of body armor on. I mean, what is going on? What's going on with his legs? I don't know. But this is such a weird situation. And as this continues to go up for Repzion, I'm going to be asked, what do you think? A lot of you are like, well, what do you think about this? Well, here's what I think. I think that Onision has done many, many terrible things in his life, many of which were cataloged online because that's the life he lives. For somebody that's been on YouTube as long as him, who's clearly as unhinged as much as him, I'm not surprised. I mean, let me just show you a perfect example here. This is last night when Billy the Fridge literally let Onision mount him on live stream. He had no clue what questions to ask and was not fully informed on the case. This was all over. Well, Billy the Fridge ended up showing up. But, I mean, like, seriously, if you watch this, I mean, it's like very, you can see Billy is very uncomfortable. Onision is very, very, very into it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but all I can say is that Billy is absolutely being violated, and I don't think he enjoys it. I don't think he knows what's going on. I think he just, by the way, he's taking a lot of heat. I saw this interview, or I'm sorry, here. He must have a lot of, he must court a lot of the social justice crowd. I don't know. I see a lot of that type of language. People are really mad at him because he didn't put the screws to him. People are mad because his friends made fun of victims. Okay, he showed up and he got an interview. What happened on that interview wasn't very helpful, I don't think. But it was entertaining, if nonetheless, if nothing else. I mean, I would say that it's probably time for the Onion to get a real job. It's probably time for him to, stop living so publicly if he's going to be such a garbage human. I don't think this ends well for him. The whole idea of there's no such thing as bad press. I don't know. This is not the kind of press I can imagine anyone would want. And there's only so long that he can carry this on. And he's really courted a very, very effective kind of group of weaponized autists that are going to find things, and eventually something's going to catch up to him, is what I'm guessing is going to happen. Something's going to catch up to him. He's going to have to realize that he's a father now, and that he owes those kids like as much of a normal life as they could possibly have. And having the internet phoning their school, I'm sure that there are things that cross the line for people that are kind of investigating this, especially when you have kids involved. That's, you got to really be respectful of that and understand that, hopefully something comes out of this. What I want is the guy to change and accept many of the things that he's done, but I don't think that'll ever happen. I think that he's choosing to burn out rather than fade away. And I guess if that's the quicker way to get rid of him, I'm all for it. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.